Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the entry era Western Alliance Era 2 medium tank, the AMX 30B 66. Now this is a tank that I do actually enjoy, with the caveat, enjoy of entry era tanks. Because, to be honest, my personal opinion on a lot of the entry era tanks, and to be honest, I've only played 3 so far in the M60, the Centurion 9, and this tank, is that they're all poo. They're pretty poo. They're just tanks that you have to grind through to get to the next level and the next level after that. So for, say, the 30B 66, for example, you have to grind through this tank to get to the 30B2, which it looks mostly the same as this tank and is just better than this tank in a lot of different ways, right? And it's just the next tank, but that's the way it progresses. But it means that you just have to sort of play through this tank, play through a tank that's worse than the tank before it, that looks exactly the same, plays exactly the same, you know, and then suffer it for a bit to get through it. Now, the problem, obviously, with the 30B 66 is that the tank only fires heat standard. Now, the heat standard is pretty horrid a lot of the time, because, well, I say a lot of the time, half the time, because there are some tanks, like the FV4211, that you basically can't do much about at times, especially if it's played by someone who knows what they're doing. You spend a lot of time going, well, I'm just not going to do anything about this guy, because I'm not going to pen it, and that's pretty much the way. But it doesn't mean that the heat is useless. The heat isn't useless in Era 2. You can still pen quite a lot of tanks, like you're seeing in front of you, a Leopard. You can pen the Leopards, you can pen the other 30s, you can pen a lot of the sides of a lot of tanks. It's just tanks that have spaced armour all over the front, so there's also the T-72s that are a big problem for this tank too. But why do I prefer this to something like the M60 or the Centurion 9, and especially the Centurion 9? I hated the Centurion 9. And the reason is, what you're seeing right now, just that 20mm autocannon, it is utterly phenomenal. It is game-changing for the tank. If this tank did not have this 20mm autocannon, it would be horrific. But it does have the 20mm autocannon, and that means there are so many tanks you can utterly trash with it, and your damage can accelerate so quickly when you use the autocannon effectively, because there are so many tanks that you can pen it in the ass and in the side and in certain plates with this autocannon. You can even pen 4211s in the Compola with the autocannon, by the way. But yeah, so the autocannon is the game changer for the tank. So the reason I say that is because if a light tank that with ATGMs YOLOs in to attack you, it slaps you for 1,000. If you're in the M60 or the Centurion 9, I'm quoting those two tanks because they're the ones I have experience with, you hit them for 460 alpha, they hit you for 1,000 and run away. With the 30B 66, oh, by the way, this is another reason why it's just, that chieftain had no idea. Yeah, but with the 30B 66, you hit them for 460, they hit you for 1,000. If you get lucky and they don't set you on fire, you then take their whole hit points, because they cannot get away from your autocannon for the most part, unless they're smart in the way that they attacked you. So, like you saw with the AMX 13 SS11, we tracked it and then just took his whole health in the blink of an eye. That is what the autocannons are good for. And yeah, it's a big strength of the tank, especially when in this era, especially, you do have a lot of light tanks that YOLO with the not with the autocannons, with the ATGMs and slap you for big damage, and there's not much you can do about it. Well, in a 30B 66 you can, and you just rip their health to shreds, and the machine gun is so much fun to use, and this is why I like this tank generally, with the caveat, for a entry era tank, because I feel like you can use the autocannon to great effect, and if you use it, you can just trash people so fast, and it's so much fun to use. That's the sort of thing that you don't have with the Centurion 9 and M60. Do I still think it is a good tank? Well, no, because I don't think the entry era tanks are good. I just think, again, they're tanks that you have to get past to get to the top of the grind. So what do I run in terms of a crew on this tank? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Clutch Braking, Deadeye, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving. Off-road driving to just help the tank get to its top speed, especially with the fact that I use the traction system. The Run and Gun and Steady Aim to make the gun better, to make it better on the move and better in general. Clutch Braking to make this tank feel pretty nimble with its track traverse. And the Deadeye, even though it has Heat Standard and HE as its second round, it means that the Deadeye is not going to touch anything that those 2 rounds do. Your autocannon fires APFSDS or APDS, whichever way, and that means that every shot of that will have an increase with Deadeye. And in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and the traction system. So with that game you saw there, we finished with 4 kills, 8.6k damage, 1667 assistance, the ace tank of the Brothers in Arms, the sniper medal, the high caliber, 1731 base XP. A pretty nice game there for the AMX 30B 66 on Mannheim. But yeah, I take the advanced loader with the equipment on this tank because I want to make the DPM as good as possible. I take the gun stabilizer because I do want to make this gun good. Because with the heat and the velocity and stuff like that being only at, I believe it's 1,000 meters a second, I do want to make sure that this gun, with the 1.97 seconds aim time and stuff like that, I just want to make sure it's as accurate as possible so that the shells will hit. And then the traction system, because I want to go at 72 kilometers an hour for the tank, which is great. And you do hit that with taking off-road driving and stuff like that. I mean, really with the crew, it's very, very interchangeable. You can quite easily get rid of the off-road driving, take something like Snapshot, or take Rapid Aim as well to make the turret traverse better, because the turret traverse does suffer a little bit because of the fact that the tracks go so quickly by taking the traction system and clutch braking. You could get rid of Deadeye if you wanted to, because you feel like you don't want to use it with the autocannon, you don't care enough for that. There's many, many different ways of setting this tank up. It's like you could take off the traction system, because 65 kilometers an hour is pretty quick for the tank. You could take off the traction system, for example, and then run something like the vents to make the DPM better, make the aim time better, accuracy, etc, etc. Or coated optics just to take your view range up to another level so you can just spot everything that you want. There's many, many different ways you can set it up. I think when I went for the 3 mark in the end, I ended up taking the traction system off and putting vents on it just to maximise everything about the tank. But again, it's completely down to you and how you personally want to run it, how you feel comfortable with running the tank in general, right? That's the same with every tank in this game. So yeah, we're on the second game. And the second game, we are on this map, which is Swamp, and oh boy, we've tracked the forad. There we go. We're up to 2k damage so far. We put the tracking shot into that forad, and we can pen the drive wheel of an AMX 30B tank, is the way I'm going to put it, an AMX 30B tank, because all the AMX 30Bs, in terms of the 30B 66, 30B2, the 30B2 forad, and the Brennus, if you track them and you have their drive wheel, your machine gun will pen that. And that's what we did to that guy, and we wrecked him. Really, what this machine gun is so good for is your knowledge. If you know exactly where to shoot and what you can pen with this machine gun, you are going to have a phenomenal time, because you really have to know exactly where you are hitting to get the most out of it. And if then you do know how to do that, oh boy, your damage is going to start racking up very, very, very quickly, because you do just, it racks up damage. I have no idea where that shot went, by the way, but here we're going for the drive wheel of the 30B, but we are still, I mean, we missed that shot, but we still racked up a fair amount of damage on that guy. We are detected, which makes me think there's still something at the back of the map at B9, but my Leopard 183 has gone in on this AMX 30B 66, and we decided to help in, and we shut it down. We've now got the back of a MX 13 SS11. It's like, hello bro, don't let me just not machine gun you, because I'm always going to machine gun you. But he ended up popping smoke. We've now got the back end of the FV4211, and unfortunately we're reloading the machine gun, so we couldn't quite get the shot in. We do manage to track him in place though. Aim for the lowest section of the 4211's engine or back end, because that's where you can pen. Now we've got the 13 SS11. It's like, hello sir, just let me machine gun terribly, but let me machine gun you, and we get an extra set of damage there. Yeah, if you're shooting at 4211s with the heat rounds, go for the cupola, and if you get the back end of the tank, and this is with this gun, with this 20mm autocannon, shoot the lowest part of his rear. Because if you shoot the rear, the upper part has random bits of spaced armor on it, which makes it just, for some reason, bounce stuff like ATGMs and bounce 500 pen rounds. So always aim for the lowest part, because you can pen that with the autocannon very, very easily, and as you saw, you can shred them very, very quickly. So now we've cut this bandit out. We track him in place, and once again, a bandit, oh boy. Oh no, Mr. Bandit. Oh no. We end up tracking him again. Oh, Mr. Bandit. This is why this... That's why. That's why I prefer this tank to the other two entry era tanks. For stuff like that. because that poor bandit got absolutely wrecked. We tracked him in place, used the autocannon, and basically took all of his hit points. Absolutely all of them. Very, very easily. He managed to... Well, I don't even think he actually got a shot into us in the end. And we took his whole hit points. We're up to 9.6k damage with 1,096 assistance. And unfortunately, we bounced 2 shots on that M60. But I want to try and get into a position where I can try and shoot up the 0 line, because there is still something up there, and manoeuvre into a better position to get shots at these guys. So we get a nice shot into the 30B there. Just waiting for our reload. We put ourselves past 10k now. We get another shot into the 30B without retaliation. We see the Sheridan, think, oh, can I machine gun that? Nope, nope, he manages to pull back. We try and get a shot into the side of the M60, but Heat says no, because that's what Heat does. And trust me, this Heat can be flipping frustrating. But we pen him straight through the turret front, because 400 pen of Heat is going to do that. Because I say the Heat isn't useless, it's just a pain in the ass. That's just the way I'm going to put it. It's not useless, it's just a pain in the ass. And it's RNG, so sometimes it just decides, no, I'm not penning that. So that shot that just penned and tracked the M60A1, sometimes we'll just go, nope, Heat absorbed. And that's that. But yeah. But then you've got the autocannons. We missed the shot on that M60A1. But we also cannon him to death, because we can pen the far back end of the M60, and that's what we do. Now there's the side of the Pharaoh's Fury. We get the shot into the side of the Pharaoh's Fury. Now with 400 pen, we're going to make a mistake. We can't pen the Pharaoh's Fury with 400 pen in the upper or lower plate. We have to get the side or shoot the cupolas. But we are making a mistake, and that is we're trying to go for the lower plate, which is... We shouldn't. We go for the cupolas, we pen, and we kill the Pharaoh's Fury. But we're not doing that. We just keep tunnel vision on his low plate. I'm thinking, why can't I kill this guy? It's like, because you've got to hit the cupolas, you fool. Shoot properly, you moron, and you will have the kill. But we can't quite get the shot onto him. I'm just there like, I want my top gun. It's all I want. We aim properly for the lower plate here. We're just waiting for him to turn, but unfortunately we end up tracking him. Waiting for the reload. He's turned his turret. But we tracked him in place for the T-72AV, who shuts him down. And I finished the game with a really nice total for the 30B66. We finished with the victory. The 5 kills, 12,063 damage, 1,983 base XP, 2.5k assists, that's 14.5k combined. Ace Tanker, the Confederate, the High Caliber. Yeah, 1,983 base XP. A really great game there for the AMX 30B66. A tank that I say... For an entry-era tank, I have thoroughly enjoyed it just because of the 20mm autocannon. If we're totally honest, it's fantastic for that. Because you can shred things so quickly. And it's such a devastating weapon to use. The Heat can be troll, though, so you have to really know what you're doing to shoot that ammo. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!